How is everyone feeling about Donald Trump officially being under arrest? Story 1. I just wish more people understood that he's being charged for things that he did before he became president, for using campaign money as his own piggy bank, something politicians are frequently accused of, but rarely seem to be held accountable for. Of course, I don't expect anyone to change their opinion of the man, or their potential vote. That ship has long sailed. We have better information now, and I was wrong. Per the indictments, the hush money payments continued through 2017. I thought all the stuff with Cohen's trial happened before then. Apparently, covering up evidence of a crime as a business expense is frowned upon. Story 2. It's wild how many people are trying to claim political prosecution just because he is a politician. Even if the DA did have an agenda, he still has to present evidence to a grand jury of peers in order to indict. Nobody, and I mean nobody, is getting indicted on 34 charges without evidence. Then, even if he is indicted, he's still innocent until proven guilty. Then the evidence has to be so strong to convince a jury of regular citizens, beyond a reasonable doubt, that he actually committed these crimes. That's the highest possible legal standard we have, thankfully. We live in a country where there is an incredibly high standard that must be met in order to be convicted of a crime. Especially to be convicted of 34 crimes. So if these people want to claim that charges are bogus, why aren't they waiting for them to be dismissed in court? They already know deep down that the charges aren't bogus. Story 3. My whole thing is everyone freaking out, lock him up or he's getting locked up. We don't know the exact charges yet. But this all stems from potentially paying hush money to Stormy Daniels with campaign money. Literally a low, white-collar crime. At worst, this is going to be a slap on the wrist. Nothing's going to change. Yet everything acting like he's facing the death penalty. Just reading these comments shows that no one actually knows what he's being charged with. LOL. 34 felony charges. I'm actually amazed at that. LOL. Story 4. I am not a Trump supporter by any means, nor am I a Biden supporter, so here's my third-party opinion. If you take a shot at the king, you best not miss. By that I mean Trump has a huge base of fanatic supporters. So the DA needs to make sure he can score a conviction. If he doesn't, and somehow Trump walks away from this, then it's going to motivate his base when he decides to run again. I'm not a lawyer, and I'm not going to pretend to be one. So I'm hoping the DA has an airtight case and doesn't fuck this up. It doesn't matter to me what party are part of or position you held, you are not above the law. But as a counterpoint, sometimes shit backfires, and I'm hoping we as a nation don't get hit with the unintended consequences. Story 5. Am I glad that he's finally facing justice? Yes. Do I think this is going to change anything? No, the cat is out of the bag. It's now an acceptable political platform to offer no solutions, and just simply hate on those who are different from you. Trump may be arrested, prohibited from holding office again, but there are plenty who are taking Trump's playbook and molding it into something less crazy and more palatable for centrists, see DeSantis, Abbott, etc. My folks voted for Trump, but had no doubts he lost in 2020. Nowadays, they're cheering over DeSantis. Don't say gay. Bill, the damage has been done to America already. The Republican Party's motto is, "We won't make your life better, but we will make it hell for people who don't look like you." Story 6. It's a disappointing day when a former president gets arrested for any reason. But we are at a point in this country politically where we have to show the people that no one is above the law. I don't know if any of this is going to stick. This seems relatively low bar to chase, but it's not what you know, it's what you can prove in court. We'll see. As a native New Yorker, I've perceived him as a grade A con artist for decades before he ran for office. Part of me is glad he is finally getting his comeuppance. Another part is deeply saddened by the stain this will leave on the presidential office, and whether this will be looked back on similar to Nixon and Watergate. I worry about how this will further divide the country. I still can't wrap my head around how we got to the point where Trump and Biden are our primary options for leadership in this country. Story 7. My honest opinion? I'm glad. Donald Trump has skirted and broken the law multiple times on camera and on audio that it is beyond reproach. We are talking about more than just hush payments to an ex-porn star. We are talking about using the power of the office of the president to withhold resources from an allied nation to pressure them into providing information on his political opponents. Let's also not forget about using the office of the president to pressure the Georgia Attorney General to come up with 11,000 votes to give him a majority in that state. One can also mention how Trump and his administration appeared to have favored states that voted for him over states that didn't vote for him when it came to providing supplies for states struck by COVID-19. This also includes encouraging protests over lockdowns in blue states. After reviewing news articles, I am adjusting this to reflect how this is still up for debate and may not have been as clear-cut as I was initially led to believe, helping to facilitate and encouraging a riot in the U.S. Capitol to intimidate at best or kill at worst Congress in order to overturn the 2020 election because he couldn't handle losing. Story 8. This has nothing to do with enforcing the law and everything to do with getting rid of Trump as a candidate for 2024. Why is it up to a New York DA to enforce a federal law? It's a weak indictment that has been injected with steroids to push a political agenda. The fact that so many people can't see this is an example of how poorly informed Americans are. If they can trump up charges to prosecute a former president, what can they do to any American citizen? This will get AstroTurf BC Redditors can't see past their blind hatred of Trump to realize how much Alvin Bragg is shitting on the justice system. Acquitted or not, Trump haters will see this as proof of a two-tier justice system, and pro-Trump people will see this as the deep state continuation of their case against him. Either way, this is just further dividing an already divisive country. This is, in my opinion, a clear politicization of our institutions.